Shalom, we welcome you today. Jeanette's going to present today on I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong, well, it is artificial intelligence, but the name of the table is Stargate. But we will be talking about artificial intelligence, of course. And I was reminded today this morning, about the adulterous woman who would be forced in the scriptures to drink a concoction, and if she was guilty of adultery, it would make her bitterly sick. And if she was not guilty, nothing happened to her, nothing bad. I was reminded today, just today, this morning. All those speakers we got to get off. There's my phone now, which was off, but now it was on. Anyway, a little bit of feedback issue there. So that's what I was thinking of this morning, was this the bitter waters of jealousy. And we know that the internet obviously has been around for many years now, a few decades, and we know that it can be used for total purposes, good purposes, righteous purposes, and it can also be used for evil and wicked. And I think we're going to see the same thing with artificial intelligence. But for now, we're going to look at Jeanette's presentation of Stargate. Okay, Janette, it's all yours.
Thank you, Darla. Toda. Shalom, everybody. Let's just share my screen into presentation mode. There we are. You guys down the bottom. Yeah. Okay, can you all see the table, the screen?
Yes.
Okay, lovely. So today's presentation, as Darla has introduced, is Stargate 500. So what is Stargate 500? So President Donald Trump unveils $500 billion Stargate AI project revolutionizing technology. 500 billion AI revolution. The Stargate project by OpenAI, Oracle and Softbank. And they're the three companies that are all coming together and putting their money into this venture. According to Oracle Chairman Larry Ellison, the Abilene data centers are currently under active construction. The initial model includes 10 buildings currently being built with plans to expand to 20. Each building is approximately 500,000 square feet, located in Abilene, Texas, part of the 500 billion Stargate project. Will be used exclusively by OpenAI for AI infrastructure. Ellison specifically noted that these data centers are already in progress, I bet they are, with potential expansion planned beyond the initial Abilene location. Larry Ellison also says that AI-driven cancer intervention could be coming soon as Donald Trump announces a $400 billion investment. And Larry Ellison also says tailored in 48 hours and could soon be a reality as Trump announces 500 billion AI investment. It's worth remembering this number, 500. Got some exciting slides. So Stargate, what is it? So it's Trump's new 500 billion AI project. I'll leave you all to read through these next 3 pages, but I'll just show you the highlighted bits. It's a joint venture, as I've mentioned, between OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank and MGX, and I think there's a few more on board now.
Play on words there, a first injection of 100 billion.
Yes, indeed.
We'll start immediately. You just never know what they're really talking about, huh?
No, exactly. ARM is another company, NVIDIA and Microsoft will all provide the technology. It's like with CERN, isn't it? All the countries got together to work on that project, and it's like all these companies are all getting together on this. So OpenAI is a US artificial intelligence research organization. It's the developer of ChatGPT. Oracle is one of the US's biggest data center operators. Softbank is a Japanese multinational investment holding company that is best known for investing in technology-focused companies and startups. And MGX is a United Arab Emirates-based investment firm focusing on AI and advanced technology. Wow, some big guns are coming together for this. In October 2023, the then President Joe Biden issued a sweeping executive order to regulate the development of AI amid growing concern about its potential effects on everything from national security to public health. The orders included a provision that developers of the most powerful AI models must notify the government of their work and share safety test results. On his first full day in office, Trump revoked those orders, and Stargate and other US-based AI projects will no longer be subject to national development guidelines, although states may impose restrictions. So we're not off to a good start already. It's not only the United States, United Kingdom, that's Sir Keir Starmer, our present Prime Minister, sets out AI plans. And behind it as well, Tony Blair, a previous Prime Minister. Tony Blair, AI is key to UK's economic growth future. There is no doubt that this is an era for transformation. Keep hearing this word, transformation, like it's always a good thing, trans. The UK boasts a wealth of innovators and pioneers realising this vision. At the head of the pack is unicorn Microsoft AI partner Quantexa CEO Vishal Maria believes the UK can lead the world. So it's a global thing. In Daniel 12:4 it says, "But you, Daniel, hide the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall diligently search and knowledge shall increase." Do you think we're there? Do you think we're the nearest to that we've ever been? So here's the table. We'll have the table now, and then there's a few more slides. So here is the access term. Stargates, it's Shinai and Resh Yod, Kafwa, Kaf, Bet. So there, Shinai and Resh Yod, Kafwa, Kaf, Bet. And inside, as you'll see, the same vertical is the word path, Shin, Bet, Yod, Lamed. Stargate path. So I'll start over this side and work my way around the table. So here in the black, we've got the code, and here we've got the code. This red is the door. So the Dalek there with the code is shared with the door. That's interesting, isn't it? The code, the door, and the Dalek means doorway in the Hebrew. Down here we've got cherub as well. And here with this purple running into cherub, we've got the dark. Is it the dark cherub, the dark angel? It also means misery, the ignorance, the wickedness, the death. Angel of death would be. This with the brown circles is in Maya, like miry clay dirt. It also means intelligence gathering. Now that is fascinating for this table. And here with the green, we've got matter, and that's Google reverse. So this green here is a skull cap dome, you know, a sort of semicircle shape. And maybe this Stargate project is going to be dome shaped. In the pink, we've got Elon. His surname was not in there, but Elon's interesting. It's actually a Hebrew name, and I have a slide on it, which we'll get to soon. And Elon is here with on the vertical with, and he who reveals. With this dark blue circles, we've got drought, and it's also the sword. And with the turquoise here, we've got the word truth, sword of truth. Ah, the sword of truth. And also in the pink, so that's actually 3 words in this one vertical line, I will blot him. I will blot him with the sword of truth. We shall have to see. With these red-ish circles, dark red, it's riddle. And I'll have a slide on that. We'll go into that in more detail in a little while. And with this goldy colour here, circles, we've got our scent, and it's emissary. So that's interesting how riddle and emissary, an emissary being sent, the riddle. What is the riddle, I wonder? Okay, so I've said the access term. This purpley colour, pinky purple, is Yah, and it's woe. Alas. I wonder if it's one of the 3 woes. Woe, woe, woe.
So it's pronounced Yah, right?
Yes. Yes. With the Yod Hey. Yod Hey. Oh, yeah. In this blue here we've got, and it's porches, arches, and that reminds us of like the Arch of Baal that was put up 2016 and went all round the countries of the world with many heads of state all standing underneath it with opening ceremonies and things. And porches and arches is what ancient Israel used to build for their fallen deities, the ones that are mentioned. We have in the green, idol. In this purple, we've got and behold, like to see, to behold, and it's a palindrome. It's the same forward and backward, the actual word there would be Haynoon, Yisra'eel, and then you've got Haynoon, Yisra'eel that way as well. So does that mean it's double in power? And behold, its arches and porches. Here we have idol, no value, worthlessness, false deity. So porches, arches, some kind of worship to false idol, deity. And here in this brown, we've got hundredth, and it also means microsecond. So that's like in a blink, in a flash, instantaneously. Of course, Mr. Musk says that this Stargate, he wants to go to Mars. It's about Mars, but I don't know if it's anything to do with Mars. Here in this purple, we got and rebellious. And of course, the fallen ones were rebellious. And any of these false deities are rebellious to Yahuwah. And if we go looking for them, we're rebellious. Here in this black, we've got Sheol, Hades, abode of the pit, place of inquiry. Now that's interesting. It reminds me of a sort of a Ouija board or some occultic way of getting in touch with these false deities. And I think that's probably where a lot of the information for building this AI huge Stargate 500 thing is coming from. Underworld, necromancy, that's talking with the dead, being in touch with the dead, and underworld, and in the Greek it's Gehenna. So what an interesting table for Stargate. I didn't know what I would find until I looked in there. So moving on, so the number 500, this is it in the Hebrew, in Strong's lexicon, Strong's Hebrew, and it's derived, where the 500 derived from the Hebrew word El, meaning Elohim, meaning to ascend or to go up. So this is the Hebrew meaning, and I'll let you read that. And in the Greek, look at what it says in the Greek. Antichrist, Antichristos, Stargate 500, Stargate Antichrist. A figure who will oppose the Most High. Opposition to Christ and specific individuals who embody this opposition. The term is often associated with false teachers and deceivers who deny the true nature of Yahushua, the Christ. Wow. In the table, the word riddle, as I showed you. The Hebrew word, where's the Kedar? See, that shows you how to pronounce it too. It is often used in context of wisdom, literature, and prophetic messages where the meaning is not immediately apparent and requires discernment. In the Bible, Kedar is used to convey complex truths or to challenge the listener to seek deeper understanding. And it's dark, saying, sentence, speech, hard question, proverb, riddle. So that's the word riddle. And were sent is, let's just move you guys up there to pronounce it, shalach, sending a messenger or emissary, was a common practice for communication between individuals, tribes, and nations. The concept of sending also held spiritual significance, as seen in the sending of prophets by Yahuwah to deliver his messages to the people of Yisra'eel. Kokab, angel, or a star. That was the spelling for the word star, but it's also the word star is also prince. It can also mean prince. Lightning, brightness, radiance. Derived from an unused root meaning to heap up or to roll together. That's interesting. The Hebrew word kokab refers to a star or celestial body. In the biblical context, it is often used to describe the physical stars in the sky, as well as metaphorically to represent angels or significant figures. The term can also symbolize guidance, divine creation, and the vastness of El's universe, Elohim. Down here, the Hebrews recognized stars as part of El's creation, serving as signs and markers of time. The stars were also used for navigation and as symbols of Yahweh's promise to Abraham regarding his descendants. Isn't it fascinating when we get into the Hebrew? So again, see AI overview here on Google. So like we use AI for good. So it's like a double-edged sword in itself. So in the Bible, the phrase sons of El is sometimes used to refer to stars or angels, as I've just said. Stars are angels, whereas the sons of El are the leaders of other worlds. See Revelation 1:20. And here I've done Revelation 1:20. The secret of the 7 stars which you saw in my right hand and the 7 golden lampstands the 7 golden lampstands, sorry. The 7 stars are messengers of the 7 assemblies, and the 7 lampstands which you saw are 7 assemblies. So the Bible spells it out for us. And here, Genesis 22:17, we've got stars and gates in the same paragraph. I shall baruch you, and increase your seed, like the stars of the heavens and like the sand on the seashore. Your seed shall take over the gateway of its enemies. So that's the root word, shin ayin resh, gate. So, gate. Points of entry and exit, but also as places of judgment. The gates were often fortified and guarded, symbolizing strength and security. With the sword of truth, I wonder? Yeah, door or gate, city door, gate, port, porter. Rebellious. That was in the table. The term implies a deliberate choice to oppose or resist, rather than an accidental or unintentional act. Spiritual breach. Ooh, that could have serious consequences. Wow. Bitter, change, be disobedient, disobey, grievously, provocation, provoking, rebel against, rebellious. Okay. 1 Samuel 15:23. Then Samuel said, does Yahweh delight in burnt offerings and slaughterings, as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Look, to obey is better than an offering, to heed is better than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of divination, and stubbornness is as wickedness and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of Yahuwah, he also does reject you as sovereign. Here we have Elon. So it's Hebrews 356 in Strong's. The name Elon is used in the Hebrew Bible to refer to a person and a place. It is associated with strength and endurance, much like the oak tree from which the name is derived. In the biblical context, Elon is a name that signifies stability and might. In ancient Israel, names often carried significant meanings and were sometimes indicative of the character or destiny of the person. And it's also a place in Palestine. And this one was a city, territory allotted to the tribe of Dan. Although it was associated with the tribe of Benjamin, it is situated in a valley that served as a key route for travel and military campaigns. The valley of Elon is historically significant as a battleground, notably in the account of Joshua's battle against the Amorites, where Joshua famously commanded the sun and the moon to stand still. Do you remember that for those 6 hours? Interesting. So the sword of truth in the Bible. Again, this is an AI overview on Google. Just quickly to run through this. It says the Bible is called the sword of truth because it contains Yahuwah's word, which is the truth. And of course, Yahushua is the way, the truth, and the life. The Bible is also described as the sword of the Ruach, the Spirit, in Ephesians 6:17. Why is the Bible called the sword of truth? The Bible is a collection of books that Yahuwah breathed into being. The Bible is alive, active, and sharper than any sword. It can help us distinguish between right and wrong, can help us live in a way that is free from sin, can protect us from the lies of the enemy. What can we do with the Bible? We can use the Bible to attack the lies that Hasatan has told us. We can use the Bible to remember that Yahuwah has saved us from our sins. We can use the Bible to learn what it says and memorize Scripture, and that is so important in our spiritual war. We can use the Bible to apply Yahuwah's message to our lives. And if you want to look back over the table that I did, Spiritual War, just a couple of weeks ago, that goes into a lot more detail as to how Yahushua fought with Hasatan, was tempted in the wilderness, and only used the word of Yahuwah. So Hebrews 8:12, for the word of Elohim is living and working and sharper than any two-edged sword, cutting through even to the dividing of being and spirit, and of joints and marrow, and able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the heart. So this brings me to here, because you'll see the messengers, the angels of darkness, messengers, angels, and darkness. 2 Peter 2, verse 4, for if Elohim did not spare the messengers who sinned, but sent them to Tartarus and delivered them into chains of darkness to be kept for judgment. And Jude 1:6, and the messengers who did not keep their principality, but left their own dwelling, he has kept in everlasting shackles under darkness for the judgment of the great day. And I just have a feeling that that's who that they're in contact with, getting this technology from, on how to build these things. The darkness. The dark, this particular spelling is complete and utter misery, destruction, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness. The Greek term used metaphorically to describe spiritual ignorance or moral depravity. Metaphorically, it could represent ignorance, evil, judgment, or the absence of Elohim's presence and favour. What a horrible place to be. Sheol, a breakdown of Sheol in Strong's. Just move those again. H7585, Hades. In the Hebrew Bible, Sheol refers to the realm of the dead, a place of darkness and silence where the departed spirits reside. It is often depicted as a shadowy underworld distinct from the grave and not necessarily a place of punishment or reward. Sheol is portrayed as a temporary abode for all the dead, regardless of their moral standing during life, grave, hell, pit. I wonder if this, where the Apollo comes down with the key to the bottomless pit, releases these fallen angels. So it inclines as well, the underworld, the netherworld, the grave, and borrowed, interrogated, entreated. Revelation 1:16 to 19. And in his right hand he held 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his face was as the sun shining in its strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead. And he placed his right hand on me, saying, "Do not be afraid. I am the Aleph and the Tar, and the living one. And I became dead, and see, I am living forever and ever. Amen. And I possess the keys of the grave and of death." So there we are. Write therefore what you have seen, both what is now and what shall take place after these. So we have nothing to worry about. We know who is in control of everything, even if they are about to open any pits or something is about to come through or whatever. So, and Revelation 1:20, which follows on, it's the next verse. The secret of the 7 stars which you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands. The 7 stars are messengers of the 7 assemblies, and the 7 lampstands which you saw are 7 assemblies. So we're talking of angels, we're talking of messengers, as well as just the heavenly bodies. So that's the end of the presentation. Tada, thank you for watching. May Yahushua baruch you in Yahuwah's name. Luke 10:23-24. And turning to his taught ones, he said separately, "Baruch are the eyes that see what you see. For I say to you that many prophets and sovereigns have wished to see what you see and have not seen it, and to hear what you hear and have not heard it." And just reminds me of Daniel, with many will run to and fro, and information will be increased. And yeah, I think we're about to go, well, into realms that this world has never seen before.
Thank you, Janette. That is very amazing information on that table. Are you able to bring your table back up?
Yep. I'll just come out of here so I can find it. There it is.
Oh, and you're actually in a place where you could edit this. We didn't put in the truth, but that should be the truth in the bottom in the teal color. The
All right.
truth. Yeah. I'm wondering, Gail, how did you like this presentation? She may not be able to speak.
I just had to unmute myself. Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't get into the first part of it.
Yeah, I think you came in right as she pulled this table up, about then. Yeah.
So I have a question. So because I missed a bit, Janette, is that Stargate on Elon?
How do you mean? Is it on him?
Does the Stargate represent Elon?
I think so. I think it's this same Stargate 500 AI project. That's what I had in mind.
So are you looking at it as a positive?
Well, it could be either, can't it? It all depends on. It just feels to me as though all this is being put in place. They talk about all the medical things, how AI can help with this, that, and the other. But we know that when the man of lawlessness comes, the Antichrist, as many like to call him, he will use what is in place. He will use artificial intelligence to be able to see everybody and monitor everybody, and for us to all be in with the system. And, you know, if we're not good citizens, or we are Christian, or we don't bow down to him or take his mark, they will know. And we won't be able to buy or sell or do anything. This is obviously the way that it will be used. It can be used for Tobe, as we've already pointed out. We are using it for Tobe to get the message out there to the people. So I can't say. It all depends on who comes in and uses it and what they do. You know, let it run away with itself, or if they put measures in place, if that can be done. You know, it all depends on the mind of the person, you know, where they're coming from, who they're working for. Does that answer your question?
Another question. When you were doing this, I had come across the name Elon, and there was I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, there was a connection to El, or Elohim. Did you come across that?
Well, only in what I mentioned in the slide just now. You can answer, Darla.
Yes, she did find it. We found it in the Hebrew. His name is Hebrew.
Yeah.
And she did share the meaning. She shared the Strong's meaning of it on a slide. And what was that slide again, Janette? Can you bring it up again?
Yep. Gotta find it first.
Yeah, I actually have to go back to the title after the video and change this to Stargates, not Stargate. So that is also a point. So there we go. There's Elon.
Well, it was Stargate that I wanted to spell, not Stargates, when we looked up.
It is on your table at Stargates, and I think when we looked it up originally, that's been a while. I think it was actually Stargates. And so it is Stargates.
I did only want Stargate.
Yeah, but it is on your table as Stargates. And I
So
think that is what it means. That is the spelling for Stargates. And so it says Elon is a name that signifies stability and might. It's associated with strength and endurance, much like the oak tree from which the name is derived. So obviously it says it is from, yes, the root is El, meaning oak or terebinth.
Okay.
So it signifies strength and might. It says in ancient Israel, names often carried significant meanings and were sometimes indicative of the character or destiny of the person.
can you see now?
Gail, I think she's asking if you see her slide. Are you there, Gail?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm probably overstepping your audio. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Okay, so we can go back to the table now. And it's so
wait just a minute. Up here on this, blow that Elon up a bit. You just reduced it.
There you go.
Okay, all right. Okay, translation. It's so teeny tiny. It's Elyon.
yeah, you're
Elyon. I think it's spelled. Is that right?
Ialon, what the one on the right, are you talking about the one on the
Yeah,
left?
right there. It's the third line.
Yeah.
Is it translate?
Alone.
What is it?
Alone.
How do you spell it? Is it it's Eylon, correct?
It's what she has there is or what Strong's has there, what Bible Hub has there is AY-LONE.
Okay.
Alone.
All right, but you've got the translation is what I'm looking at too.
Yeah, the translation is Elon. Exactly.
Okay.
And there's an
also
Elon.
Pronounced Elyon. Elyon.
Not that word. Not that. That's a different word. It is a different word that you're thinking of.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it's a different word.
Because
that's gonna have a yod after the lamed. Elyon.
Because Elyon means most high, and it can be used for
Exactly. It's a different word. Although the Aleph Lamed, which is L, that also is L. They're saying here meaning oak or terebinth, but that is a shortened form of Elohim is El.
Right.
And it would obviously signify his strength and his stability.
Right.
That's what those two letters together that signifies when we talk about El. If we talk about El Shaddai, well, that's one. The Shaddai part's the one who provides, but it's a stability of one who provides. That would be El Shaddai, for instance, or strength or endurance of one who provides.
Yeah, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Good name.
Yeah, it is a great name, and it says there, indicative of character or destiny. And I still think of people named that way. When I hear somebody's name, I think about what does their name mean?
Yes.
Because that gives me a little bit of a clue as to maybe what their parents named them, maybe not knowing, but I believe subconsciously or divinely planted that name went to that child.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
What's in a name, right? It's amazing.
Yes.
Our names mean things.
Yeah, like Gail, even though it's spelled Gayle, it's actually Abigail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, which is Abigail, which the yod is counted in there, and you actually have the yod place marked with a English Y. So that means that, from my perspective, that means that that's Gimel Yod Lamed. Gail. Okay, so we can go back to the table, Janette. And I think that it's also important in code searching to think about the terms that are found are the terms that are first searched for. Like if Janette didn't, or the computer, most of these are vertical, which indicates it's probably the computer program that found these words initially. If Janette, let's say the skull cap and dome there, if that hadn't been looked for, then it wouldn't be there. You know, I mean, it's there, but it's not. Let's say, Janette told us she looked for Musk, it wasn't there. She looked for 500, it wasn't there. But did she look for 400? Probably not, but it could still be there. See, that's the way codes work. Did she look up benevolence? Maybe not. Maybe she didn't look up the word benevolence, but it could still be there. So some of these things look like they're sort of hinged toward a dark purpose, and there's not a whole lot looking that it's hinged toward looking for a lighter purpose. But even in Janette's presentation, she showed you something where AI had done a sort of synopsis, and we're very much in an AI world, just like 20 years ago we were coming into internet. Don't quote me on the years, but we were coming into utilizing the internet all the time, right? And at the beginning of that, there was probably a lot of suspicion on the use of it, but now, of course, we know that it is a tree of knowledge for sure. And we also know that we utilize it every day for righteous purposes, for communication, for business, for, and I think about every day I do anything with my hands, I thank Yahweh for baracking the work of my hands, because he says that he baracks the work of our hands, right? And it is work. When you get on the computer, unless you're just playing, it's work that you're most likely doing.
And it's known as WWW, isn't it? Which is wah, 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 666.
Yes, and yet we all use the computer every day. We all use the internet every day for the purposes that we are involved in.
Yeah.
I didn't hear, I came in late about the skull cap, but what I'm looking at, does this make sense? Skull cap and dome. This Judaism, they have a skull cap. They call it a skull cap or a dome on their head.
Yeah.
And it distinguishes them from others. So could it be possible that because Elon went to Hebrew school and had some Hebrew background, that there is a connection there with the skull cap and the dome, that he could be Jewish from Judah?
Could be.
It's so possible. The seed of the 12 tribes is scattered over the face of this earth. So it's so possible that any of us could have DNA from different tribes incorporated in us.
I think that could be an indicator or a marker or a sign that there is a connection to that particular tribe with Elon.
It certainly could be. When we looked up that word, and also that looks very much like the Hebrew or Aramaic version of Peter, by the way. Kifa.
Peter?
Yeah, Kifa. Kifa's with an olive on the end.
Well, yeah,
there could
be many connections to that, sure.
when we looked up the word, it was less about the skull cap from my remembrance on it as it was like a covering.
Well,
There's like
that
a
would make
protective
sense.
covering. Yeah.
That would be all in line
Yeah. It's
with that.
definitely there.
Yeah.
It's definitely there, but in Hebrew it's like, well, what does it do? What
That's
is a
another
dog?
sign, seal. It's another clue.
Yeah, it's a protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just interrupt a minute?
Yes, please.
You know,
Tessa.
when we're talking about the name Elon, remember in the scriptures in John, I think John 5, it talks about how you are able to, no, I have come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me. If another comes in his own name, him you will receive. And to the younger generation, they do receive Mr. Musk quite openly. I have nephews and nieces that think, you know, he's the best thing since sliced bread. So just a thought.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. It is for the younger generation, all this technology, they'd be lost without it. And how many of them will not see anything wrong with where it's going? You know,
Well,
where
they haven't been without it. They haven't not been without it for the last 25 years.
But there has been a
Um,
famine of the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good point, Tessa.
Is there any scriptures you wanted to share with us from this, Janette?
Sorry?
The underlying scriptures?
Okay, well, I have to close this page down, stop share for a bit and get onto the live table. So if you talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Right. Well, I can bring up, last night I shared something, it was from Marfugal TV, and he was talking about, it's 30,000 is in the name of the title, so it was just real recently, 30,000 troops was in the title. But he was talking about some of the dangers of AI, and there's somebody on X, formerly Twitter, that shares different things about AI, different platforms, and so on and so forth. And he was sharing that he asked how to KILL a couple of high profile people. And the AI went into very, very specific details, like this is what you do this coming week. And it was very scary. And the person was calling for, this needs to be regulated. This needs to be shut down. This is very dangerous. And it was highly specific. Meet this person here, watch him, make sure you have the right person identified. He'll be between here and here at this time this week. It was just crazy scary.
Right. Okay. You can see the table.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. There's some toad ones in this. So let's have a look. We'll go down the access term first, which is here in this red with this line as well. These words, we got the wa in the word star. There's the word star, kokab. So there's the wa. It's Ezekiel 9:2, and it says, "And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lies towards the north, and a slaughter weapon in the hand of every man. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's ink well by his side. And they went in and stood beside the bronze altar."
That's
Right. You have
appropriate.
to tell the rest of the story, Jeanette, from there. Where does it go? The one man is marking the people that are grieved by the sin in the city, right? I'm paraphrasing. And then the other men are sent to slaughter them all that are not marked, that are not sealed.
Yeah. And then we have the calf, which is on the next line down. Ezekiel 36:22. And that is, "Therefore say to the house of Yisra'eel, thus says Yahweh Elohim, I do not do this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for my Qodesh namesake, which you have profaned among the nations to which you came."
That is truth.
And the Resh, Psalms 18:32. "For who is Elohim but Yahuwah? Who is a rock but our Elohim?" Don't be seeking after these things, just seek after Yahuwah. 152. Let's have a look. 152. The Lamed. There we are. Green Lamed. It's in the word path. That green. That's Job 42:3. "Who is this who hides counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I do not know."
Jeanette, is that in the same yod that's in Riddle?
Riddle. Let's see.
Because path goes over the top of Riddle,
Where is Riddle?
underneath the word path.
I've written, well, Riddle is, just saw it and I've forgotten it. 158 is Riddle. So this is Riddle in here.
What's the word right underneath the word path, right in the center there? It's in a reddy color.
This? Do you mean this?
No, next one over to
There.
your right. Yeah.
This is the access term, Stargates.
Okay then. The path on Stargate. Okay.
Path is green. The path is the green. Where did you want me to look, Tessa?
Oh no, it was just there that you were saying about the llama, but
Oh, I see.
because it's small, because
That
of
one that was on 152.
Yeah, that really could be a prefix unto Stargates.
Oh. "Who is this who hides counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I do not know." Yeah.
Love it.
I was coming to that. I have that written down. And 200 over here, it's the calf there. Isaiah 34:6. "The sword of Yahuwah is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahuwah has a sacrifice, in Bosra, and a great slaughter in the land of Edom.
Wow.
See, a lot of it is repeated. That's the Lamed in 1, 2, 8. In Sheol, the Lamed in Sheol there. Jeremiah 6:10, to whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot listen. Behold, the word of Yahweh is to them a reproach. They have no delight in it. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
And that is the same, that bet. See, we're going along the same horizontal line. So it looks like it's a big skip, but it's not that big, really. That
What was
hay.
the skip? What was the skip?
43010. Oh, look at this. This is the hay. It's hay in 199. The door. Yeah, the hay in the door. Jeremiah 6:11. Therefore I am full of the fury of Yahuwah. I am weary of holding it in. I will pour it out upon the infants in the street and upon the assembly of young men together. For even the husband with the wife shall be taken, the aged with him who is full of days.
Wow. Wow. If you do not obey, this is what's going to happen.
Yes. So the actual underlying scriptures is not positive.
No.
162 down here. 162. I will blot him. Aleph mem het nun wa. Aleph mem het nun wa. There. Let's have a look at those. I will blot him. 1 Kings 1:31. Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth and prostrated herself to the king and said, let my Lord King David live forever. That's not much of anything, really. That will be the same. The slaughter weapon and the ink, writer's inkwell by his side.
Hey, Janette, can you go back to what you were? Was it the beginning of that? Is there 2 lines to that verse? It said something about the higher gate in it. Is there a top line? You were just on it just before. Anyway, I guess I'll have to go back and look at it, but on the video. But it was right before you were on this one screen here. Every man. Where's the beginning of that verse? There we go. The way of the higher gate. Interesting.
Yes.
I mean, these are the men that did the slaughtering. So they came from the higher gate.
I hope they don't come through the gate.
Well, these were the ones that were sent from Yahweh.
It's
Well,
going to happen.
Yeah, well, this sword of truth is, you know, I think that's what's going to be swishing about the place.
So interesting that they came from the way of the higher gate. And you're talking about Stargates.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, doesn't it talk about all the gates in the book of Nehemiah? The gate of Ephraim, above the old gate, the fish gate, the tower of the sheep gate, the gate of the prison.
Yeah. And the Pope just opened 5 gates, didn't he? Portals.
Doors, yeah.
We're all about opening gates. Even the underlying scriptures are about gates.
Yeah, there's definitely this higher gate in your table.
Mm.
Jeanette, can we look at the first letter that you have found a code and then the last on your table? They look like they're both WAS.
1 Samuel 7:6. And they gathered together to Mizpah and drew water and poured it out before Yahweh and fasted on that day and said, there, we have sinned against Yahweh. And Samuel judged the people of Yisra'ელ in Mizpah.
Wow.
Weren't most of the judgments at the gates?
Yes.
That makes just so much sense.
And this one, 2 Chronicles 19:8. And also in Jerusalem, Jehoshaphat appointed Levites and priests and heads of the fathers' houses of Israel to give judgment for Yahweh and for controversies, and they had their seat in Jerusalem.
Wow. That's amazing.
What was that attached to? Sorry, Jeanette.
This one here, 141.
141.
Arches.
Okay.
What did you say, Jeanette?
Porches, arches.
Yeah. I think that word, when we looked it up, also talked about strength. And there you got the Aleph Lamed in it. It would talk about strength.
Mm.
Like the strength of these porches or arches or structures to hold up. Well,
Anything?
Very interesting.
It's amazing. It's got a lot of great terms on it. And I would think it would be great to look for the positive, you know?
The positive is that his word is true, and everything, every word, every jot, every tittle
Yeah.
will not pass away.
So
There
maybe
is going to be judgment.
Yahweh is still on the throne, and like I was saying earlier before you got in here, Tez, I was thinking just this morning about the bitter waters of jealousy that the adulterous woman would be made to drink. And if she hadn't committed adultery, there was no negative effect on her.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great table.
it could have been worse than it is, actually.
Yeah. I think we definitely have some divided thoughts, even among our smaller group here, on AI and stuff like that. But I used AI just this morning while we were in here, in fact, and I asked about one of the guys. Let's see if I can find it. One of the is it Larry Ellison? I was like, wow, you mentioned Larry Ellison, I think.
Yeah,
Wasn't he one of the
he is. Yeah.
ones that are going to do
yes,
the
that's
cancer?
what I was
Okay.
checking on.
The OpenAI, is he?
Yeah, it said, and this, of course, is I'm using ChatGPT to check this out, but I said, you know, who's this guy? What does Larry Ellison have to do with? I can't even say the word, so I thank Janette for reminding me not to say it, but you know, the JB.
Yeah. The
So it's,
integration.
yeah, it says he's the co-founder of Oracle Corporation. He's been involved in the healthcare and the Jibby Jibs space, primarily through Oracle's technology and data management systems. He was the guy that was up there in one of Trump's press conferences right early in his first 100 days here, and talking about, let's see what I can read. You know, the bio and the technology and the jibby jibs for treating cancer. And it was shocking. I mean, it was just, say it ain't so. Say we didn't just hear him say that. And so it says at a press conference in January 2025, President Donald Trump announced a $500 billion artificial intelligence infrastructure project named Stargate. During this event, Oracle Chairman Larry Ellison discussed the project's potential impact on healthcare, particularly in developing personalized M to the R to the N to the A for cancer jibby jibs. And he explained that AI could enable early cancer detection through simple blood tests and facilitate the rapid creation of these individualized jibby jibs within 48 hours. So he was the guy, according to ChatGPT here, who did the whole who made that shocking announcement. For those of us who've been awake through this whole horrible thing the last few years. So definitely, and then just to see that the lack of morals. Another thought that I had, I actually asked ChatGPT, because I will utilize it for righteous things. I said, did Adam and Eve ever eat from the tree of life before their sin? And because I couldn't remember them eating of it, but there was nothing to say that they didn't eat it. Why didn't they eat it if they didn't eat it? But then, according after their sin, they were prevented from eating it. So they may have actually eaten it before, but once they sinned, they were prevented from eating from the tree of life. But then maybe they didn't eat of it at all, but they had some sort of interest in the other tree. So there's all that too. The tree of life versus the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there is a lot of knowledge that you can gain from the internet. In my younger years, it was encyclopedias.
yeah, we've come a
Nowadays,
long
it's
way.
yeah.
Sister Darla, I was thinking, wouldn't it be that if they had eaten of the tree of life, that they would be like the Nephilim? And
Yeah,
that,
they never die. That was one of the things that you know, like I said, I can have some decent conversations with ChatGPT about things, and I can even say, you know, don't use God, use Elohim, and use Yahweh, and I can have a conversation like that. And it was saying that, you know, well, they may have eaten it, but yeah, they couldn't eat it after that, because if they had, it had a pretty great thing to say about it. I'm trying to see if I can find it while I'm talking. They were banished to prevent eating from it. After their sin, Elohim specifically prevented them from eating from the tree of life after they had already fallen. This implies that eating from it at that point would have allowed them to live forever in their sinful state. So,
mm,
death brings an end to all of the sin that comes up in a person. They're not gonna continue sinning. And I think it was, I think at maybe earlier, maybe before we went into record, I think she was talking a little bit about like we're in this realm until we get out of it. Like we can't, I think it was in terms of going to Mars or something. We can't leave this domed, protected area.
There you go, domed.
In this realm. Yeah. In this body, in this flesh suit. Maybe it was yesterday we were talking, but anyway, it was about whether it was, we were talking about a rapture in the flesh. We're talking about the second Exodus.
That was you and I, darling.
Yeah, that was you and I yesterday. Yeah. I know it was either before, I was pretty sure it was before we started recording, or it was yesterday when we got together yesterday for a few minutes. Yeah. It's a dome.
Yes.
The protection.
And that could be the meaning. That could be the meaning. You know, you can't leave. You won't be able to go to Mars, or maybe the only way he'll be able to open the gate is downwards to Sheol. It had Sheol, Hades, Anna, and we know what's down there.
Yeah. And, you know, and I think that's also, I mean, it was so interesting when she was looking up Sheol, that obviously that's also Shaul's name. It's also death. It's also grave. It's also pit. And it's also the place of inquiry. So a lot of people would evidently go to the dead. We know that Saul did that, King Saul. In fact, that was his name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that how King Saul's name was spelled the same way as, I think it is Shaul, Paul, that Hebrew name, Shaul. I think it's he's the one who went and tried to talk to the prophet after the prophet died.
Yeah.
Samuel.
The witch of Endor.
Yeah. And she brought him up, summoned him up. But I that's really sort of a new thought to me today, after we dug into the meaning of that word, Shaul, with grave and pit and hell, and we already knew all of those things. And that yet with the meaning of his name, he then came to his demise, seeking the witch of Endor to talk to Shemuel.
And again, instead of seeking Yahuwah.
Instead of seeking Yahweh. And there's also another verse that I don't remember exactly how it goes, but shall we not inquire of Elohim as opposed to the dead? There is a verse about that. Does anybody happen to know where that verse is? Should we not inquire of a living Elohim as opposed to inquiring of the dead? Anyway, if I find it, I'll put it in the description as well, because that scripture came up in my mind probably the day that we checked these terms. Is there anything else anybody wants to say before I end our live stream?
It was just a lovely table. Thank you. There's so much information in that, Janet. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Darla, for the time you guys put into this. It takes a long time, so thank you.
Yeah, it's very time consuming. Thank you, Janette, and we will see you on the next one. We know Janette's got a few tables coming up. Janette, what are you working on?
I've got a lovely one on the word, the rapture. I'm going to break that down in a nice Bible code table. I've got a table on Elon Musk, and there's also a table on, well, we have checked a couple and they're ready just to be presented.
Yeah, what are the two that those are ready?
Yeah, well, they are. It's just getting us together in the right.
Sure. I mean, what are the names of those?
Sorry?
Do you recall offhand what the names of those two are?
No,
we looked at them yesterday.
We'll keep it as a surprise.
All right, we'll do that.
And Darla, I think it's Isaiah 8:19.
Do you have it in front of you, Teza?
Yeah,
Karina's just
Go on,
bringing that up as well.
yeah. When men tell you to consult the spirits of the dead and the spiritist who whisper and mutter, should people not consult their Elohim instead?
There you go. I wish I'd found that and put it as a slide.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yahua definitely brought it up to us, and we had two sisters both that found it. Karina found it as well. So I will include that in the description. I
Yes.
think that is a lovely verse, and that needs to really be, as usual, an amazing job.
That is the absolute message of this code table. Is, you know, that's what mankind always wants, is, you know, to go here, go there. I will,
Without consideration, without regard for Yahuwah or how they're offending him or how they're rebelling against him. Yeah.
it's like the Tower of Babel, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, yes. It needs to not be the 21st century Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
That's a great point too, Janette. I wonder if Tower of Babel would have been in there had you searched for it.
I wonder. I did
Yeah.
think of that as an access term for another table, maybe one day.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna. My camera started glitching, so I need a different camera, but I just ended up turning it off. But we're gonna say shalom to y'all, and we will see you on our next presentation. Yahuwah be with you, and thank you, Janette, for all your hard work.
All esteem and honor to our Father, Yahuwah, in heaven, for revealing these things to us in this generation, in this particular time, for such a time as this. We need to be warned, you know.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. Thank you, Janette. Thank you for your hard work.
Yes. It is awesome.
Okay, I have ended it.